So once again, my name is Sam Sinemelike, and we'll be going through this topic for today, which is conditional formatting. We are going to start from the basics, and then we progress to the advanced stage or level of conditional formatting and see how we can use that to identify a trend or identify a characteristic of interest to us. So for those who joined us last week, we can see that for this state and local governments, they were we used independent drop-down validation. Remember that we used an Excel function called indirect. And that helped us to ensure that if we choose, for instance here, the local government that will be what I will open up here as drop-down will be dependent on whatever choice we make here. You can see here, if we open up to pick a local government, it is based on we'll change this to Oyo, for instance, then the options that will be open here for us will be local governments that are in Oyo, so we can choose any. If we come here and change this state from Ondo State to Ogun State, then the local government that will appear here will be those ones that are in Ogun State. So for instance, let me just look Ondo State now. These are these local governments in Ondo State. So if we are to change this now, if we are to change Ondo State to FCT, for instance, then when we open here, the local government here will be based on that. So this was what we did last week. For those who were not here, if you are interested in this, so all we need to do is to let us know, and then we can share the recording with you so that you can look through them. So, and we gave assignments, a form for people to go through. So we just like to use 3 minutes. This is 809. Let's use 3 minutes to use the chat box. Everybody that is on this call, you let us know via chat. I was not here. You had issues. So let's take 3 minutes to do that. Okay, so it looks like majority of participants this evening were not there. Everyone said Not there, not there. Okay, so, but not everybody has responded. We expect responses from 10 participants, and we have only seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From 5 participants. Oh, great. I was here last week. So, Bolade, please, did you attempt the exercise? Finally, we've seen someone who was here with us last week. Great. So for those who were not here last week, kindly type in your email address. At the end of this, we'll pick up the addresses and then send you the materials. Please type in your email addresses in the chat box. Let's also use 2 minutes to do that. Then those who were here last week, we are still expecting your feedback. If you did it, if you had any problem, or if you didn't do it, let's know. Oh, Bala said you're here. That's great. Okay, and I confident you finally made it today. One more minute. Let's go through. One more minute. Share your email so that we can. Few more seconds. Okay, so others that will join, those who have not sent in their emails, we'll expect you to do that shortly. So what we did, we stopped, we gave assignment for everyone to complete this data validation. And then at this point up to here, they were pre-filled, and then we shared the file. And then here I had to generate this number on treatment. And then finally, these are the simple arithmetics that we can do. Performance on target is just what have you performed over your target, and you express that in percentage. Then here for percentage coverage, we said how many people have been tested over the total population. That gives us, and then we express that in percentage. And then the positivity rates, what we did was to look at those who were positive over those who were tested. So we see our positive here and number of people tested, we got our positivity rates. Then I just realized that our enrollment rate is just the same thing as our coverage. So we may have to remove this. Enrollment is actually the number of people we enrolled as against the population. Okay, so I'm going to remove this. It's a duplication. We have that as our coverage. All right, so we are delving into conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is a tool and technique in Excel that you can use to highlight a trend in your data set. Also use it to bring out some characteristics of interest to you. And we are going to be looking at this. Okay, so I'm going to take us through the basics. On our ribbon, we have the Home tab over here. And then when you open the Home tab, you click it, you will see several other menus. And then right here, under our styles, we have conditional formatting. Now, the conditional formatting will let you apply some conditions. You define the condition, and then if that condition is met, then it gives you a format that you want to apply. So for instance, now, let's look at percentage target now. If we are looking at this, for instance, and as analysts, you want to look at the targets given to each of these facilities. And so you want to find out certain characteristics about this. You click your conditional formatting, then you see the entire options that you can apply. So we are going to be looking at them one after the other. The first one is, I just need you to know that these are presets. They are all presets, but you can define your own. Sometimes it's good for you to look at the presets and then see what you can apply very, very quickly. So let's look at this highlighting cell rules. The first one here is greater than. So assuming you have set your target and you want to find out those ones that are greater than a particular number, a particular figure. Let's say there are 20 facilities and you feel, well, I want to find out the people who have targets greater than 300,000. You want to highlight them. So you click this, and then this opens up. So you can begin to type 300,000. As I am typing, you see it's already changing, and it's already highlighting the format that is over here on my right. If we were interested in 4,000, let's say, there is none. There is none that is up to 4,000. What about 400? Okay, no, this is not even 400. This is 40,000. All of them are above 40,000. So let's see what is of interest to us. Let's say 300,000. So we click that. It has highlighted. Now, see this, is seeing this as a text, as a number. So I'm going ahead to remove here. I shouldn't have included this. So let me just click there, and I'm going to clear the rule. Let me use this opportunity also to inform us about clearing rules. I'm going to clear the rule, not from the entire sheet, but from the selected cells. So I clear this, and that rule no longer applies here. So right now, visually, you are able to identify how many and which are the facilities that have targets above 300,000. You can see them. On this also, I can apply several other rules. Assuming I want to now find out, okay, the maximum, I am setting my upper limit, which is 300,000. Then I want to set a lower limit. Let's see those who have less than 200,000 as targets, less than 200,000. So I'm going here, I'm still going here, highlighting cell rules. I'm no longer interested in this, but I'm interested in this. So when I click this, I am looking at 200, 1, 2, 3, 200,000, but I'm going to choose a different format so that I can distinguish it from the first one that I applied. Let's say if we choose this, it's going to give me green. Now, when you are looking using conditional formatting and you are applying several rules, it's a good practice to use contrasting colors so that you know a great distinction between two formatting. So we can see that the green here contrasts very well with red. So we can go ahead. If we like, we can choose yellow. If I choose yellow now, if this yellow is fine, then that is great. So now let's choose green. Green is fine, so we okay it. Now, we have seen two different colors. We can also apply in between. Say, let's see the target that is between 250 and 280. 250 and 280. Remember what we have applied already. Number one is the target that is above 300,000. Number two, targets that are less than 200,000. Now let's look at the target that falls in between 200 and 250. Again, I'm going to select the set of data that I'm interested in. I'm going to click here. Let's go to this point. Do we have between? We have between here. So we can click this and say 200, 1, 2, 3, and 200, 250, 1, 2, 3. Now, this time around, let's use yellow. So we okay this. So we have defined three conditions here. So the other ones that are not highlighted, they are the ones that they have not met any of these set criteria. Now let's test. We have two here. Let's test them. If we make this one 400, 400, 1, 2, 3. This is 400,000. If we enter this now, it should assume the color of the first condition that we set, which is above 300. So let me enter. It has taken that formatting. Okay, so I'm going ahead to select all this, and I'm going over to clear rules in all the selected cells. Now let's check through again, greater than, less than, in between, equal to, so on and so forth. You need to explore this on your own. Then let's look at this. We have top or bottom rules. So if we want, we say, okay, we want to get the top 10. You can see that these are 10 already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I say I'm interested in the top 5, I have reduced this to top 5. So it's giving us the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the top 5. So just give me a minute and I'll be right back. All right, so sorry, I'm back here. So we have looked at the top 5 because that was our interest. And we can also check whether we are interested in the top 10%, top 10 items, bottom 10%, above average, and so on and so forth. So I will allow us to also walk through this when we have our practice session. So let me go ahead and clear rules again so we can delve into. Next is to look at the data bars. Now we have these gradient fields. Hello, please, can you mute your mic? Please, can you mute your mic if you're not speaking? Thank you. Okay, so we want to look at the data bars. These are also another way that we can visualize our data and make them stand out based on certain conditions. So we can use this. Like we said, these are presets. And the way this has happened is the bars are aligning to the figures. You see that the highest figures have the highest length of bar. So let's go ahead and choose this or anyone, depending on your preference. This, okay, so let's use any of this for a demonstration purpose. You will see that the highest is this, 400. You can see the extent of the bar. You can use this to visualize and then share, and then people will just see that this is visually representing your data. Note that anything you see here, it's not as if there is a chart, no, but it's a conditional formatting. So if we need to change this, say for instance, we can change we don't want to affect the formula, but we can change the this population so that it can change. So assuming we have 1 million, this 1 million, yes, this is 1 million, and then it changes. You see that this is 800,000. 800,000 has dwarfed these other ones here. Let's see the 400. You see it has dwarfed the 400. Okay, so this is how we can use this. Again, let me remove the rules, and then we are going to apply another. Okay, this is our, you can, for this data bar, you can either use this or any of this, the solid fill or the gradient fill. Now let's look at the other color scales. It's also the same thing. You can use this, green, yellow, red, or any of this, depending on your preference. Again, you can decide to use icons, any of these. Now, the thing about these ones are that because they are presets, the values for each of the position or the direction of the arrows are preset. Personally, I have not taken time to find out which values will go straight up, which other ones will go straight down, which ones goes left or right, which one goes slanting diagonally. It's something that if we really look, we'll be able to estimate. It's not definite. But one thing is that it divides your data into, I think, 3. There are some that divides into 3. You have an average, then you have above average, below average, you know, and then like this one, I think there are about 4. There are 4 here, as we can see. Let's just go ahead and click it. We can see 4, we see this 800, which is the highest. You see this 400, which is straight either towards the right, giving us, I mean, this is the half. And then these other ones pointing towards the right, they are close to 400. Okay, like this one again, this and this, they are very close to half. Okay, so it's something you need to look around, and if that's what you want, then you can apply them. So let's clear the rule from the selected cell. Let's look at other icon sets. It's the same thing here. Anyone that it's your preference, you can actually choose it. Then you can use your, they call this, what's it called again? You know how your reception, the reception bars, you can use this to represent your data. Okay, so these are the preliminaries that you can actually apply on your own. Okay, we have looked at this, looked at this, looked at this, and up to this point. So what I'm going to do now is just 5 minutes. I'm going to allow us to play around with data. You can use any data that you have been playing around with or working in the office. Use this to just look through this in the next 3 minutes or so. And then when we come, we are now going to delve into creating new rules. So we will create new rules, and then gradually we'll delve into an advanced format of the advanced level of conditional formatting. So give us 2 minutes to play around it. It's not an assignment, but it's just an exercise. 8:35, we are back. And if you have any question, please throw it into the chat box and we'll respond.
Sorry, sir, you're on mute.
Okay, so can you hear me? We're back now. Okay, so what we are going to look at, somebody asked a question, and yes, it's something we can, we are going to work out. So there are all the things that we'll be looking at. Now, let's look at our data.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Now, we are going to look into.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
So let's look at our population, for instance, now. Now we are coming over here. Let's go down to manage rules. Now, if you do not want to use any of the rules that are already preset here, I usually would like to set my own rules. So you can click here, set your rules, and then you have all the various rules here. In setting your new rules, you can decide to format a cell based on their values. And then you have this, you can look at the lowest value, the maximum value. So this one is a 2-color scale where its gradients, the highest, the lowest will be like this, and then the highest will be like this, if you want. So you can also define the color, say, assuming it is blue, it goes like this. And then the highest value can be red, like this. So it begins with blue, and then as it rises, it comes to dark red, if you want this, okay? So if we use this and apply this, we are going to have this. Now let's see what we are going to look at. This is it. You see the highest is 1 million, and the lowest is 113 or so. So you can see this. Now, because this is a rule that we have applied, if we want to apply another one on this, we can go ahead and click Manage Rules. Then you will see the set of rules that apply on this particular column. If we want to edit the already existing rule, we just click it and we click Edit. We cannot also, well, we don't want to format all cells based on their values. We just want to select, format only cells that contain certain values. Maybe we'll look at the cell value or the cell that contains specific text or a date occurring, as we need to define this. So if it is here, let's see the different options we have here. If it is specific text, what is the text? If it is not containing it, if we want to define and say, highlight all text that does not contain either does not contain laptop or contain something, because we can see a text may contain certain things we don't want to, so we just pick those ones out, beginning with, ending with. So these are the things you need to also explore on your own. Then you may decide to say, okay, this is, I want to format top or bottom rank values. So these are all the places where you see all those preset formatting. Format only values that are above or below average. So you say above below, or equal or above, equal or below, one standard deviation above, one standard deviation below, and so on and so forth. Now, the good thing about Excel is it has a lot of hints. So you need to practice a lot, especially practice the things you use often. Learn the things you use often. That's why in our training, we give the subjects. So if you know you use that a lot, then you learn that and you practice. So if we are looking at formatting only unique or duplicate values, so it's either duplicate or unique. So now let's apply this. First of all, we need to clear, let's clear this rule. Let's delete it. We delete, we apply, everything goes back to 0. So we are creating a new rule. Let's take duplicate, and then we are going to apply 2 of these on this set of data. First, we are going to apply duplicate, and let's use red for duplicate. Red. Okay, it's apply. Do we have any duplicate? We don't have any duplicate. So we're going to get a new rule. We are still looking at duplicate values, but right now we are looking for unique. And for our unique, we are going to use green. You can use anything, or blue, anything you know that you can easily remember what you have applied. Let's see. All right, so let's just okay this now and look at this figure. There are 2 rules applied here, and blue is what we are seeing. The reason why all of them are blue is because all of them are unique. So if I copy this now and drop it here, both of them become red because they are now duplicates. If I copy this also and drop it somewhere here, the 3 of them will become red because they are all duplicates. And if I change them, they become unique again. They become unique. Everything becomes unique. So this helps you to identify. If you are not expecting duplicate numbers and you have over 1,000 or over 1,000,000 records, by the way, I don't know if any one of us have seen the end of the rules. There are 1,400,000 and is it 1,040 something thousand? Let's get there. Okay, so this is the last. I don't know how many people have ever had any record that is up to 1,048,576. So if you have that kind of large data, it becomes difficult to scan through. But with conditional formatting, you are able to identify the values that are unique, the values that are duplicate, depending on what you are interested in. Okay, so let's clear this rule. Now let's go back to our manage rule, and then we can simply delete them, and then apply all. Now let's create a new rule again. So right now we have looked at duplicates, and then the last one we are going to look at now is using a formula. And this is where font comes in, conditional formatting. So you need to understand some basic Excel functions. If you don't understand how they operate, you are going to run into problems. The reason is on a spreadsheet, you get hints, you get clues as to how to use those functions. But when you come into these wizards, you will hardly find. You see here, in our data validation. So it is best for you to type out the formula on a spreadsheet, get it where, then copy it, and then you bring it here and paste. So that is what we'll be doing in the next session. So right now, we are going to allow some time to play around again these areas, that is managing your rules and then creating new rules. Just go ahead, have the feeling, see how you can manipulate around that. And then in the next 10 minutes, this is 8:50, by 9 o'clock, we will come back and then just spend like 20 minutes and we are done for today. Okay, so go ahead and practice. And then within this time, any issue you encounter, please type it on the chat box and then we will respond. Okay, so go ahead and have fun exploring conditional formatting.
Why do you not put when you fly? I think the rest not good though. Like this, I usually mention it.
All right, so welcome back. Let's use the next 10 minutes to get some functions. And I'm going to use the question that was asked by Kenneth. Kenneth wants to find out, assuming he has several records, and he wants to identify the lowest. So we are going to use that as an example to apply the conditional formatting. I hope Kenneth, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, okay. So let's use this as our interest, and let's use from here, let's just use this. We are looking at the local government, or rather, let's use this. Okay, permit me to just create a new one. So here we have a vendor, for instance. Then we have their quotes. So here we have vendor one. And let's say we have several of them, let's say 20 of them. And here, let's use the round between, and we are going to get between 100 and 100,000. All right, so I'm going to allow this to dynamically change. So we have this. Now we want to ask Excel to identify the lowest, the vendor with the lowest quotes. Now, like I told us, we need to understand some of the basic Excel functions. For what you are asking, we are going to look at minimum, max, large. There are several of them, but these are few ones I want us to look at now. And you know, this is a spreadsheet. I told you, if you are typing anything here, you will get some tips. So I want us to understand, but by the time we go and start applying the rules in the conditional formatting, you will be able to understand our parameters and the syntaxes that we are writing. So minimum is the function that you use to identify the smallest value in a range of values. So we are going to say minimum, see it already? It returns the smallest number in a set of values, ignores logical values and text, values and text. So when we activate this, we are going to define the numbers so that it can bring out the number that is the smallest. So if I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, comma 0, and I close it and enter, it has returned 0 because in that series, all this one 0 is the lowest. Now, because we have set value, we are not going to type them out. We are going to give a range. So we are going to say equals to minimum, and then I just select this. I close my bracket and enter. So this 5924 is the minimum among what we have here. Okay, see it here. And if I press my F9, it keeps changing. As it keeps changing, this also changes also. That's why I say we are going to use here where I will apply the round between so that the figures will be changing, and this is changing also. Now, for us to apply this here, we need to understand how we are going to apply this there. That's why I just demonstrated this here. So what we are going to do is, I'm going to select from here. This is our range, and I'm going to my conditional formatting, manage rule, we are going to create a new rule, and then we are going to use a formula. So we are using a formula, and this formula is what? Is equals to, you always type the beginning of your data. So we can use this is equals to minimum. I open my bracket, and then I select all this. I close my brackets. Now, if you understand the concept of absolute and relative cell referencing, you will see that here we are going to remove this. I press my F4 to remove the dollar signs. And then here, because we want Excel to be looking through this figure, this column. So we are fixing our column, but we are not fixing the row. So what it means is that the row, it needs to look through the row. Sorry, it needs to look through the column here. So it's just going to look here, look here, look here, look here. So, and you know that B, that's the letters, are the columns. And then the numbers are the rows. So I'm going to hit this. Good. So what this means is I have locked the row and letting the column to be free. What color do we want? Let's apply yellow. Let's apply it. Minimum. Just a minute. Okay, there is an error here. If I am using A, I ought to also have used A here. Let's see. A, B. Good. So you see, this is the lowest. And I will hit my F9. The figure has changed. This is the lowest now. F9 again, it keeps changing based on the formula that we have applied. So once your number changes, it dynamically gives you the lowest. So it's the same thing you are going to use. I have done this here. You can see it is whatever we see here is what we are seeing here. F9, it happens. F9, it happens. Okay, so I'm going to give us 3 minutes to do that on our own, while I take the same 3 minutes to do a recap of what we learned before some people joined in. Okay, so go ahead and try it. Kenneth, I hope you are here. You asked the question.
I have a question.
Okay.
Now, the way the rows and the column appear here,
yeah,
I can understand it. But the set of data I'm working on does not appear in this format.
Okay.
Now I have, let's say I have a vendor A in one column, vendor B, another column, vendor C, let's say to vendor G.
Okay, just a minute. You have something like this.
Yes.
Like this?
Yes. Now this, exactly.
Is it like this? Okay.
Now you will now come to the rows.
Okay.
For the rows now, I have a rows. I have a description of item that runs from 1 to 20, for instance.
So you have item 1 that runs like this, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And then here they are different. These are the values.
Values.
Okay, rand between again. Sorry, rand between. Say let's 10. 1,000, something like this, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then for each one now, you are supposed to do this, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now
So
let's walk through this.
Number one.
Eh?
So
For
now
item number one.
I want to now know the lowest for that line among this set of vendors.
Okay, we can apply the same rule and it gives us the same thing. So what we are going to do is let's select all of them. We are going to work this now using our cell referencing, and then we will know what we are interested now in each volume, each vendor. So we can go to conditional formatting, manage our rule. What is our rule? We are going to use a formula, and this formula is going to be this first one. This is the beginning of our selection, is equals to minimum of all this. Now we are interested in columns. So let's this. Okay. Then let's this. Sorry. Good. Let's see. We are applying this. This is supposed to give us the value for each. Let me see again. J2, J2. Let's see what we have. We're actually supposed to have let's see our formula again. J2 minimum of J2 to 21, X 21. Okay. This is the rule that this is the formula that we should use. I'm just looking at the areas where we have made, if we have, we should actually have this painted in each
column. Each column. Each column,
each
right?
column, yes. We're supposed to have it for each column. Let's see. JX2, X21. Okay. Let me just see something. 4, 3. Should all. It should in all. Okay. So let me just clear all the roots. Not all. Just select this. Clear the rules from selected. Okay, let's see what we have. This is item number 2. Manage rule, new rule, use formula. This is equals to this, is equals to minimum.
Two brackets.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. We may have to do this by column because no, it should be. Let's see. Okay. I have seen something here. J up to X. Okay, so let's see if this will work if we select only this and then see if we are going to apply it across. Let's see something. This has to be from J, right? J, okay.
From J or from K?
No, we are starting from J.
Okay.
Let's start from J. So why don't we have J up to K? This is the best way to go. It just I'm sure we are just missing a syntax. This is the way to go. And let's just see what we miss here. J2 minimum, J2 to K2. Okay, so let's see something here. Sorry, let's delete this rule. Let's delete this rule. Now let's select from here. Let's select our values. Okay, manage rule, new rule. Use the formula. So we are using here K2. K2 is equals to minimum of K2 up to this point. And let's make this in column. Okay, let's use this. Sorry, let's use this. K2 to X21, K2, applying it to K2, K21. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll look into this, and then maybe by next this thing, we will, I'll work on this. Ken, I'll work on this and then get back to us by next Saturday.
Okay, sir.
Let me just use the opportunity to take us through what we have learned today. Okay, so for those of us who came in late, we started by reviewing what we did last week. And it was basically in our Excel fund. And we reminded ourselves where we stopped. Last week, we ended with our dependable drop down, where we made here to always bring out our list based on what we select here. We just called our attention to that. And then we generated this data up to here. And then we shared the file. And then we now said the rest should be completed by participants. And then when we started today, I realized that this also we're supposed to do this. So we just assigned numbers. And then we now went ahead to explain each of these indicators. And then we properly started today by going through our conditional formatting, which was the basic topic for today. And we started from the basics. And what we did was to use a column. Let's say now we are going to use, I will also use this opportunity to buttress something again. Let's use, the first one we did was using direct numbers, raw numbers. But now let's use percentage, because sometimes one may encounter error where you are using percentages and so on and so forth. So we come to conditional formatting, and then we explored all these options because we explained these are all presets. And so we looked at each preset formatting. We looked at greater than, and then we try to get examples. We say greater than 62%. If this is of interest to us, then we choose what formatting to apply for every value that is above 62%. Now, okay. I said I wanted to use percentage to explain a likely error. 62% is different from 62. So if I press 62, you'll be wondering, why are you not getting any figure? Because we have written 62 is not the same thing as 62%. So the moment you put 62%, it will appear. If you don't want to use 62%, you can also use 0.62. Sure. So it recognizes that. Okay, so these are some of the things that we did. Then when we apply it, these are things, values greater than 62. Then we went ahead to look at the other one. So let's clear the rules from the selected cells. And then we looked at less than, is the same thing. Then we looked at between. If you want to get figures that are between certain values, you use this, and so on and so forth. If you want to get a text that contains something, for instance, we can come over here and apply that. Let me use this just here. We want to apply text containing, yes, you see here, Oyo, you see them here. Assuming I want FCT, FCT will go on, I will show. If I want to see Ogun, assuming you are interested in viewing the data for specific states, you just type the state and then it highlights that for you. Okay, so there is another advanced conditional formatting that as you are typing, it's just bringing out, highlighting the entire rules of the value that you are typing. It's not something we are going to be looking at. Otherwise, if you have huge record, you just create a point where we can just create something. Sorry, let me go over. You can create something here as your search bar. And then as you are typing here, what you are typing is already highlighting all of them. Assuming your boss tells you, please, I want to get the values for so and so. Once you type, maybe FCT has several records, it just highlights, and then you're able to read that. Okay, so but that is not, it's an advanced thing for people who are working in certain places where you just search for that, and then it pops out the record for each of what you have typed. So what we did, let me see, choose here and then go here. So we looked at all this, okay? We also looked at duplicate values. When you come here, there are two options. You can look for duplicate or unique. See these options here, either duplicate or unique. And then you explore that. So when we finish this, we give people opportunity to explore that, work with their data, and then ask questions. So after highlighting, we came to top and bottom rules. We looked at the various ways if we want to view the top performing facilities or states or whatever. You can decide to select 10. You can decide to bring it up to 7 or 5. As you are bringing it, the more it's just highlighting those ones, they are automated. Then we now came to data bars and see how we can use this. Sorry, let me see if I can just move this thing here. We use data bar to highlight our data, visualize it. You see that those ones with higher bars have higher values. So we said, if you like, you can use something that is catchy, like red. If you use gradient fill, you can see that it's filled in gradient. But if you like, you can also use this solid fill. Okay, so we described that. Then we came to color scale. These are ways you can visualize your data using color. Okay, and then like use the icons also. And we tried all of them, and we say everything depends on your preference. You can use these signals. Yes, it was signal. I was trying to remember the name. These are the strength of your signals. You see that the higher values, yes, network signal. The higher the value, the higher the signal. You can see. So if I go ahead and choose this one, you see this one is full signal. Okay, let's just go up this way. These ones are full signals, 7%, 33%, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these were the things that we discussed. I'm going ahead to clear this from the selected cells. And we also looked at, okay, so we now began to look at creating rules by ourselves, because what we just demonstrated are the preset rules. If those things apply, if they appeal to us, if they match what we want to demonstrate, then we use that. Otherwise, we create our own rules. I personally don't often use those presets. The time I use that is I have a set of students who have applied for a course. And because of the registration, sometimes people register twice with the same email. So I just go straight to duplicate the preset, and then I hit just highlight duplicate emails. And I do that and I remove them. That's one of the rare times I use preset. Otherwise, I do them myself. I generate the rules. And so in our session today, we started with the new rules, and then we explored these different rules. So this first one, we said you are formatting all the sets based on the values that they have. So we have selected this, and these are the rules. So we can apply 2 color scale. We can apply 3. Now just see, once I change this, it's going to change to 3. So if I change 3, I'm going to have minimum, the midpoint, and then the maximum. So if I'm using this, I say, assuming I want to use number, what is the number? What is the number? What is the highest number? And then based on these 3 colors that you have chosen, this is how it's going to look like. If you want also, you may decide to use data bar. Then your data bar is either you use solid or you use gradient, and you can define your color. Goes like this. And then there is no bar, you can choose, just explore this and see how your values will look like. This is how you improve your skill in Excel, and then you get it firsthand. So the next thing is that we decided to look at another rule where we are formatting only cells that contain certain values. And then we come here to look at, is it values? If it is value, is it between? If it is not between, is it not between, equal to whatever the cell value? And if we say not between, equal to, this only one, not greater than or not equal to, and so on and so forth. You can also explore here by saying you want specific text. Here we don't have text, so you are not going to get anything. You only apply this thing, yes, in a column or a range where you have text strings. Yes. So the next thing we looked at was to format only top or bottom rank values. We saw this in the preset, but in this case now we are the one defining it and we are the one creating the rules. So if you say top or bottom, and then here you click your number. Then here, the next one is format only values that are above or below average. So what Excel does is that it has already calculated the average for you. So if you want those ones above it, it gives it to you. If you want those ones below it, it gives it to you. And then so on and so forth, equal, above, equal or below, and so on and so forth. Then the next thing we did was to look at formatting only unique or duplicate values. Again, we saw this in the preset, but now we are the one defining and then defining the colors. So you can also come here and choose, and we did that also, excuse me, we did that also applying duplicate and a unique number. And we use this also to explain that in a set of data, you can apply several rules. Now, when you apply several rules, the first rule that is true will be returned. So sometimes you need to be careful because if you don't arrange your rules very well, you may see some that are true, but they are not highlighted. The reason is that a rule that was created before that one met the condition. And so there was no need for him to check the next value. When you have multiple rules, the reason for multiple rules is assuming the first one does not meet it, check the second rule. And so you begin to see multiple rules. But we need to know that I just hope I should be able to get some of those rules so that by next time we come, we will change the order of the rules and then we'll see how the change affects the result we see. And then finally, we came to this point where we are using formula to determine which cell to format. And this is the advanced, this is the level where we begin to experience the advanced form of the formatting. Because here, you need to understand how to apply the functions. You can either use the inbuilt functions or you create a formula by yourself. Say, if this is this, or if this and this criteria are met, then give me this color. So we'll be looking more on these advanced stages by next week. Hopefully we should be concluding for our conditional formatting next week. So these were the things that we did before some of you joined in. And then I guess you joined in when we started practicing, and then a question came, how to get the minimum in a set of values given vertically or horizontally, that is the column or row. And we started doing that. So we will consolidate on this. This is the first thing we'll be doing next week. So those of us that were here today, it's great. We want you to go ahead and practice, just explore what we have learned today. When we come back next week, we will consolidate more on this, using more formulas, more inbuilt functions to see how we can identify trends and visualize our data. So this is how we are ending today. If we have questions, we can use the chat box and do that. Otherwise, we'll be breaking for tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.
So thank you very much, sir. Unfortunately, I'm just joining in today. My name is Babaji Dokeo. The link was actually sent to me by my wife. I must say it's been an impactful night. How can I be part of this for subsequent classes, sir?
Okay, what I'm going to do right now is that we have a WhatsApp forum. So okay. I'm going to share the link for all of you to join. That's number one. The number two, I would like to have your emails. Those of you who have sent your email, it's good. If you haven't done that, please drop your email on this chat so that we can send you our email notifications so that when we are holding it, you can easily be notified and then you can join. So I have shared this. You can copy this out, or if you are using your phone, simply use your phone, take it and then join. So you can copy it out and then put it in where you can use your phone and join. So that's how we can be. Now, I also want to let us know that some of our sessions are paid versions, and it's more comprehensive than this. And we usually plan it, and it's sometimes up to 5 weeks. We have certificate that we issue at the end, and so on and so forth. So if we are running that paid version, then we will also give you access to our portal. We have a portal where you read through, you watch the videos, and then if you don't understand anything, you may decide to engage us as, okay, you want one-on-one, and then we can come and have Zoom or Google Meet session, clarify whatever you have. Or if it is a session that we are using real-time virtual as we are doing now, we demonstrate all the different concepts that we are employing. So this is how we run our programs. Okay. It's good that you are joining. I have some people have already joined in. So it will be great to have many of us join our session. I don't know if I'll be able to answer your question.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, you have.
Okay. So if there are other questions, please raise them. If not, it's been a very wonderful evening. So we will send the details of this. This recording, we will not edit it, and so it's going to be a bit long. You may just have to be jumping them. And because it's going to be very big, we are using our YouTube channel. So what we'll be sharing via the email will be the YouTube link so that you can view them. And then you can also subscribe to the YouTube so that whenever we share more videos, you can have access to them. So thanks everyone for being around. See you next week. Goodbye.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.